Joining us from Capitol Hill to continue the conversation before the House comes in, Representative Scott Peters, Democrat from California, a member of the Energy and Commerce and Budget Committees. He's also a member of the New Democrat Coalition. We'll talk about that in a bit. Representative Peters, good morning.
Morning, Pedro. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for giving us your time. We'll start where we started with our previous guest as far as a funding deadline by Friday when it comes to DHS. Give us your take on where we're at on that.
Well, Democrats are asking for a retreat from these incredibly destructive practices we've seen by the Department of Homeland Security, particularly in Minneapolis, but across the country. One of the things that I did, I just listened to Mr. Flood talk about how these folks are masked up and under threat, but ICE has been funded by the Big Beautiful Bill to a level greater than the United States Marines. They're better funded than the Israeli military, and that military that we funded, the Republicans funded, has been turned against our own citizens. And this notion that they have to be masked when they're going around to schools and picking up people from their legally required appointments as part of the immigration system. That's just a different picture than what's really on the ground that we've seen with our own eyes. We need a retreat from those practices. I have a bill called the Stop Excessive Force in Immigration Act. We've got 100 co-sponsors endorsed by a number of people around the country that would just require those law enforcement officers from Department of Homeland Security to observe the same practices that we'd expect from any local police or sheriff's department. Proportionate response, de-escalation, no masks, proper identification, always on body cameras, because we know our local police are trained in how to do crowd control. What we've seen is really an untrained force, a force that's out of control, and a force that's unaccountable. We want to stop that as part of these negotiations. We want Republicans to come to the table and help us do that.
And if those things don't emerge as far as to your satisfaction, there's a couple of pathways as far as funding is concerned, whether it be a full year or a stopgap, letting the shutdown happen. Are you comfortable? What are you most comfortable with as far as funding is concerned?
Well, I did vote to keep 75% of the government open last week. I thought that was important. This is a targeted discussion we're having around DHS. I don't want a shutdown. I've been against shutdowns. And I hope that the leadership of both parties can come to the table and come to an agreement. But we have to address these horrifying practices on the part of ICE and the Border Patrol that we've seen. This just can't go on when we're having people murdered in our own streets. We see from this administration a total lack of character, an unwillingness to admit anything went wrong. Still not an unwillingness to say that Renee Good was not a domestic terrorist. She's a mom, and now she's dead. That's got to stop. We got to come to the table. We got to be honest with what's going on. We got to know that this is excessive, and the American people are seeing this. And I think this is the appropriate forum for us to address that and to solve this problem.